betrayal trauma.
Yeah.
What is betrayal trauma? How is it related to what we're talking about right now?
Yeah. So when I work with betrayal trauma, I'm working it from the lens of being impacted by problematic sexual behavior. So betrayal can happen in any form, right? It can happen in childhood. It can happen by my partner gambling, uh, squandering
Mm,
finances. I can be betrayed in many ways,
mm,
but what I'm talking about explicitly is from problematic sexual behavior. And
mm,
the way it impacts the mind, body, spirit is much different than
mm,
if you're looking at alcoholism or if
mm,
you're looking at drug addiction, because it impacts identity.
mm,
It's someone or something is being chosen over me,
mm,
and that now that it's added with sex, oh, now it really hits to my core worth, to my
mm,
value, my enoughness. Am I enough? Is my
mm,
body enough? So it really hits to these really deep core identities that get rocked heavily.
mm,
So with trauma, if we're looking at trauma, Gabor Mate says trauma is not what happens to me, it's what happens inside of me.
mm,
So not every betrayed partner is going to have the same experience. Um, some might be more traumatized by their partner's acting out behaviors than others. So it just depends. It depends on past experiences. It depends on past traumas.
mm,
It also depends on the level of deceit,
mm,
deception, gaslighting that the betrayer has done to their
mm,
partner to hide their sexual acting out.
mm,
That elevates the level of trauma, um, because then again, I go back into second guessing myself. This was supposed to be the person I was supposed to trust the most.
mm,
At my core, it rocks. It rocks us to our core.
mm,
And what we're really dealing with is a massive attachment rupture. So when you bond romantically later in life, it actually mimics the attachment from
mm,
our earlier on years with our primary caregivers. So when we have these massive attachment ruptures at the foundation of trust and commitment,
mhm,
it devastates the mind, and it literally
mm.
traumatizes the
The
mind.
destruction is so much greater.
It's so much greater, and the ripple effect is not just now my mind, body, and spirit, but it's my kids, it's our friends, it's my family. Because now what happens is I don't even trust the world. If I'm
Mm,
supposed to trust this person that's supposed to
mhm,
have my back, and they're doing all these
mm,
behaviors and have this, Dr. Omar Manwala calls it the secret sexual basement that our whole family has been living on top
mm,
of, and now that comes to light.
mm,
Now I have to make sense of my whole reality for the past how many years,
mm,
because it's not the reality I knew.
mm,
So, in a nutshell, that is betrayal trauma, and that can manifest in hypervigilant behavior. Um, it can go into I can see brain fog, agitation, um, loss of concentration.
mm,
These are trauma symptoms,
mhm.
because betrayal trauma is a mid-trauma event. It's not a post-traumatic event. It's something that's
It's
currently
happening
happening
now.
right now to me.
Mm,
And so you're disoriented, your loss of appetite, depression, anxiety, rage. I've seen, even from my own story, and also a lot of partners I see, they're like, I've never been this rageful in my life. And it
mm,
scares them. It's scary. Like, I've never experienced this level of rage. Well,
mm.
your brain has been hijacked.
So you sit with men and women, I'm guessing mostly women, who, when they sit down with you, you have this perspective. You are in the midst of a significant trauma.
Yep.
What you're going through, your experience. Because I'm thinking that what has happened here with the partner
Hmm.
often is where the spotlight goes. If
Yeah.
if if a partner or a man has had an affair or has had, an addiction to pornography or has purchased sex, just one of these acts, I think I've seen the order of actions, the things that need to be done, almost like he gets the treatment, he gets the attention, he gets the story is about that he needs healing. But what
Yeah.
you're saying is the partner has their own, they need healing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's
Mm,
you have almost the exposure for the person with, I'm just going to say PSB, which means problematic sexual behavior. The exposure for them is painful, but now what has happened is just heaped this glob onto the betrayed partner, where she's on the, and I'm going to say she because I mostly see female betrayed partners and male betrayers, but there's many men that have been betrayed. It's actually more common than not. She's on the ground bleeding out while he's getting his care, right? And doing, I got to do all my work. I gotta get sober. I gotta recover. While she's just like, how do I even do life? There's a much heavier burden, because oftentimes, and in my practice, I see a lot of high achieving betrayed partners. So I mean, these are resilient, strong, driven women that I see, and this it implodes their world. How do I function? I can't even concentrate. I can't even find my keys, right? And so the devastation is disastrous. So yes, the betrayed partner, they need just as much care as the one that needs to
Which
heal.
in some ways cruel, right? Like
So cruel.
they have received this trauma from someone else.
Yeah.
The idea, I've sat across from women who have received a betrayal, and just the idea that they themselves need healing, that they have a path that they now have to walk, feels really cruel because it's not their fault.
Yeah. I didn't choose this, right? That, and I hear that all the time. I would have never chosen this, but yet I have to heal from it. That, oh, I feel so unjust, and that's the common. I'm angry because now I'm hurting so deeply, but I didn't. It wasn't self-imposed. So yes, what you're saying is absolutely true.
What kind of things in therapy are helping these women heal? What's done in therapy? What helps them if this huge devastating attachment trauma has happened?
Yeah.
How does someone who's been betrayed get healing in therapy?
So I'm a certified clinical partner specialist candidate, which that's big words for a betrayed partner specialist. So I have specialized training in how to work with betrayal trauma, and we, from our lens, we look at betrayal in stages. In the first stage, when they, like, so there's been exposure, or we call it D-Day, discovery day. Oftentimes in that first stage, they need safety and stability. And so a lot of that first early work is resettling the ground they're standing on, self-care, boundaries. Boundaries are really important, especially when you have somebody who has done massive boundary violation. Re-understanding a little bit of their identity. Who are they? Because now there's a distortion of who am I? And I do a lot of somatic work, which means a lot of grounding, a lot of in the moment, bringing to the here and now, because often trauma lives in the past and the present. So therefore I need to be,
That person isn't in the here and now.
they're not in the here and now, right? Because now I need to make sense of my past 10 years. What has the past 10 years been? Oh, but that family trip. Oh, but this, and we do have to process that, but we also have to stabilize the nervous system.
We need to be okay here and now. We need support in this moment. We need to feel bodily okay first.
Yeah, and so a lot of it isn't really processing those big things, but it's, like I said, doing a lot of nervous system calming. So then that way I can attack my life, get back into my life, and have more functionality. I can be a little bit more present, even though it might not feel like it. But that's the starting work. Stage 2 is for those that move out of that. They become more stable. They find safety with whatever, if that means they're staying with their partner or if they're leaving. Are starting to establish a more sturdiness to themselves. And so that second stage is grief, mourning, and loss. And Carol Jurgensen Sheets, she's my supervisor, she adds in anger to that, because we actually have to process that anger. We have to process that pain. And so I do a lot of different exercises to move them through processing the things that they know, the lies that they lived, the distortion of reality, identity, making sense of their reality. So that's some of we can hit more deeper work there. And then the third stage is post-traumatic growth. And that's often where we do a lot more deeper dives into their own stories. Where did they come from? What's happened to them that betrayal actually now has impacted their own woundings of their own story. And this is not a linear, okay, you're in stage one and then you move right to stage two and then to stage three. You can kind of vacillate between, and that's normal. But you can kind of see some milestones of healing throughout the stages.
And you get to see that. You get to see people move through healing.
Yep. And I myself, my biggest post-traumatic growth was becoming a therapist. And post-traumatic growth can often be, how are you going to take this, what has happened to you, and help others? Or how are you going to bring purpose out of this pain? And when I start seeing partners do that, like, oh, I want to start a group. Oh, really? Okay. That's post-traumatic growth, because that's saying I want to share this with others. It's not meant to be by itself, right? Or post-traumatic growth is I have this hobby that I want to go participate in this, and it's really come alive in me, right? Because when you're in crisis, you don't have this imagination for creativity and play. But we have to get that back.
Like the light has been sucked out of the world. Pain is the only thing you have.
Pain is the only thing I see. So we have to rebuild. There has to be light where there is dark. And so that's a lot of the work we do in the therapy space. But then we do that in group work. I do a lot of workbooks. I give a lot of homework. But it's because of the nature of problematic sexual behavior and betrayal trauma. We need to understand what are we working with. And to understand is also empowering as well. The biggest thing about betrayal trauma is the lack of empowerment. It's often I feel powerless to my circumstances. I feel stuck.
Things are just happening to me.
Things are happening to me I have no control over. And so a lot of the healing too is around empowerment. That's why self-care is important. That's why getting help, community is important. We have to empower to get out of stuckness. And boundary setting is vital to empowerment. And so I just want to name that piece because empowerment is really how I see betrayed partners begin to heal and reform their identity.